All right, guys, welcome back to the Legal Licks Lounge. Wow, my top is busting open. Welcome back to the Legal Licks Lounge. We are 11 and 2, killing it this week. I'm the host, Maya McCall, joined today by the sports expert, Coach P. Coach P, how are you today?
You already know I'm blessed. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm good, hoping to not hear too much of a pro Suns rant, but I'll just let you have that later. Dallas, we have our sports betting expert, Legal Licks. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Maya. Wonderful. Made a lot of money last night and this morning. Made a bag.
Okay, do you guys just want to start with doing a quick recap of some of these from yesterday that ended?
Man, I'm gonna let Coach Parker go first, man.
Y'all don't want me to go first.
Man, go first, man. We ready to hear it.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not even gonna talk about Chris Paul. We gonna table that because my man C Money. He chimed in. Y'all didn't give me my moment, so I really want to talk about the general manager James Jones and his vision. Looking at a team breaking a team down and saying we have a star player in Devin Booker, but we actually need a lockdown or a solid defender, and we need a leader. We need leadership because we can't just throw it all on the shoulders of this young gun. And so he went and picked up two key pieces. And if you look at just sheer numbers, I'm a numbers person. I didn't watch the game, but I followed the game stat by stat. I laid in the bed because I get emotional. I'm acting like a coach in my house, and I don't want to put that much energy into a room, yelling at a TV screen. So I just go up and I listen to it, or I might watch it from my phone. But just numbers. Booker, obviously 47 points, 11 rebounds. Jay Crowder, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Large, against LeBron and disrupting, even antagonizing him at some point. And I feel like it took its toll on LeBron. But then you got to take a look at Chris Paul. And Chris Paul is 8 points, 12 assists, and 1 turnover. Right? You don't get those numbers. And he's doing this consistently. So I think we got to recognize, what James Jones has done and just his vision of things. He saw what he knew his team needed a great leader, and we're going to see that. As we talk about how they look in the locker room, you get a glimpse into seeing what a locker room looks like when you have a leader. When you have a leader in the locker room, everybody's at attention, right? It's like having a sergeant on deck. Or hey, everybody attention, sergeant on deck, right? And we're not talking about a coach. So that's it. I got a lot to say about the Lakers, but I really just want to focus on my Chicago guys because these are young men that I watched grow up, and I'm really rooting for them. And I'll start with AD. My martial arts instructor called me. He says, "Man, why don't you say something about what's going on with AD and why his body seems to break down, and we don't pay enough attention to it. So I'm going to bring it to the forefront, like most of the things that I've been talking about. You'll probably hear it in the upcoming months. But AD has to tighten up on his diet and nutrition, right? And when you look at AD, you look in the league when guys got their bodies in order. You know what they come to the gym in? They wear a uniform, and that's it. When you walking around and you ain't your body's not tight, like you know what you do? You wear layers. AD come in and he be bubble wrapped before you can even put on the uniform. He got a couple knee pads, he got the leggings, he got the arm, he got the shoulder stuff. He got on 4 uniforms, right? And to me, that's a signal that he hasn't done enough work on his body, right? When you see LeBron when he comes in, he put on a jersey. When they take them jerseys off, this is muscle and cuts, right? And I think AD has and I actually have a quote from him. This is from him. Like I said, we did the World Basketball Festival in Chicago, and my crew was able to train a bunch of children. And then after we trained the children and the young people, and we had some adults that wanted to participate. They brought AD on, and he talked about AD. So what do you do? What's your game plan like? And you know what this man told everybody? I like to eat a pizza. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't supposed to eat it, but that's like my favorite food. And granted, this was 7 years ago, so he was young. It was 2014. But as you get older, and I think Charles Barkley was talking about this, as you get older, he said, man, you should be invincible when you're younger. As you get older, you have to take better care of your body. A lot of people think that starts in the weight room. It really does not. It starts with your diet and nutrition. So let me transition to guys as they got older, they get wiser and they start making a change. Chris Paul, plant-based diet, right? Kyrie Irving, plant-based diet, right? And you look at Kevin Durant, it's almost like the more weight you carry, the more injury prone you are. So you look at somebody like Kevin Durant who had Achilles, torn Achilles, right? He was able to bounce right back and be right where he was, if not better, right? Because now he has an understanding of what his body can and cannot do, right? There's been several guys that come through the league, even James Jones, who's the general manager. He played several years, and he was very outspoken about diet and nutrition and living a plant-based lifestyle. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody has to go out and only eat plants, because that's a drastic change. But you have to have fruit and vegetables and things that repair parts of your body, that keeps you limber, that keeps you loose, that keeps you young. You have to fill your body with that, because I guarantee you 9 times out of 9, if you eating pizza, chicken wings, and hot dogs, and you drinking soda, that stuff is going to break you down more sooner than later. And I think that's what AD is dealing with. Again, go back and look at him when he was young, and look at what he was wearing, and look at what he's wearing now. The man be coming in with, a whole pajama set on underneath his uniform, right? That lends me to think that, hey man, you trying to cover up some I think some things that you need to work on. So so that's it. But I gotta go one more time, and y'all know I got a lot to say, so I'm gonna try to I'm gonna pull back, Maya. I'm gonna do my little move. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna put my camera way back. I'm just gonna listen, right? I'm gonna give my boy some love. This is a young man that I watched grow up. I've actually coached him in a couple of tournaments. And every time I coached him, we won a championship. And every time we won a championship, he was the MVP. And I think they have a young gun sitting on that bench that everybody can't wait to get at this summer. That young man name is Taylor Horton Tucker, right? My fraternity brother. Shout out to Cap Alpha Psi, Phi Nu Pi, out of Iowa State. That's where I graduated from. I pledged at the University of Illinois, but he pledged, and he's a made brother from Iowa State University. That young man is a star, and he shows it every time he plays. But what happens is he doesn't get the minutes, he doesn't get the touches, and you're not able to see it. And what the Lakers are going to do is, if they're not careful, they're going to lose a player that's going to show up later, and you're going to be like, man, where'd he come from? He's going to be one of those, I'm trying to think of guy, Tracy McGrady types, that they didn't know what they had. As soon as he left, he turned into a huge star. For the Bulls, Jamal Crawford. And so they have to me, he's a bona fide star. I was with one of my players and fraternity brothers and coaches earlier, and he told me a story. He says, man, I was listening to a story from Tony Allen, who's playing in the D League at the time. And Tony Allen was matched up against Taylor Horton Tucker. And Tony Allen from Chicago. He didn't know who he was. And Tony Allen got the man bitching at him, man. You know what I'm saying? Get that up, young fella. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? You. And he said, Taylor told him, man, I ain't even supposed to be here, bro. And commenced to giving him the work. He said he went back to the huddle. He like, man, who was young fella? They like, yeah, he went to Simeon. He like, say no more. Say no more. We already know what it is, right? We've seen this before. We've seen Derrick Rose. We've seen Kendrick Nunn, right? We've seen Jabari at his finest, right? Nick Anderson. We know what Simeon produced. We know what, and I'm gonna give it up to my brother, Coach Rod Smith. You know what they do, and Bob Hamrick. We know what they do, right? Ben Wilson, who's the #1 player in the country before his untimely death, right? So that right there, he fell back. I'm gonna say one more. Kawhi Leonard. I watched them match up in preseason, right? And in the middle of the game, and I heard Wes tell his story after the game was over. Kawhi came over to Wes. He like, Wes, man, is he really 19? He said, yeah, man. He's like, man, damn, bro. Where y'all be getting these cats from? You know what I'm saying? I watched Kawhi go at him, and I watched him go right back. To date, I have yet to see him not go back at somebody that try to press up on him. And that's what we love here in Chicago. It's a button that I believe we all have just because of what we live under, just a constant pressure. And so you got to have that snapback to say, man, you come at me, bro, you don't want it with me. You know what I'm saying? And then once you do that, everybody in Chicago like, okay, he legit, right? He's solid. He bona fide. Bro can play. And that's what we do to each other all day, all night here in Chicago. So I'm going to give it up to Taylor Horton Tucker. If they're smart, they will elevate that man to a major contract and make him a significant part of the offense. Last night, he's getting 12 off the bench. He got a tip dunk. And everybody like, it ignited the crowd like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It was part of the run. And if they allow him, if you all remember when LeBron and AD went out, I don't know if you all remember, he had a couple triple-doubles, a 30-point games. I think he had a triple-double. And you don't get a triple-double in the NBA just because they like, oh, AD and LeBron ain't there. Okay, we ain't finna play hard. It's still an NBA. So if he's getting a triple-double in the NBA, he's a solid combo guard who can play the 1, the 2, and he can press and guard up on the 3, right? Get that man some minutes, get that man a contract, lock him in. Otherwise, you're going to lose a gem. Right? That's my 2 cents. Now I'm going to fall back. I know y'all going to talk about the Lakers. Let me fall back.
I'm talking about oh, Chris Paul got paid. I'm listening, Maya.
We had a few comments that I wanted to bring up while Coach was talking. Somebody agreed, saying Taylor is the truth. He's going to be better than Kuz. That's not hard. Kuzma is not.
Let me pull up. Who is that? Ralph Julian, my man. I've seen Ralph make a few comments. You know, Ralph must be a ball player or a significant student of the game. Yeah. They got Kuzma out there. And you saw LeBron. I don't know if y'all watched the series. There was a sequence where LeBron looked at a shot Kuzma put up, and he like, bro, man, I've seen this before when I'm playing. Man, sub me out, man. I done ran up the court a couple times. Sub me out.
I think we got that clip. So that clip.
Man, LeBron like, man, sub me out.
We have that clip. There was another one that we have ready, though, because when Coach was talking earlier, he mentioned the Suns locker room, and you were saying they need some sort of leadership. I have that clip ready of what you were talking about.
Hold on. Hey, all y'all out there. Hold on. She said she was gonna give me a moment. Hey, all y'all out there in TV land, everybody, attention. We got a sergeant on deck. Everybody listen up. Everybody.
Here we go.
Hey, man, hey, straight up. 10 years ago, dog, I played for mine, right? 2-7 series, man. Coach, we lost 4-2, right? Right back where we was against the same team. Oh, hey, congrats, Coach. Congrats. Coach been coaching a long time. His first playoff series win.
I love you guys. We got more to do, more to come. Let's go home, rest up.
At ease. Hey, everybody at ease. We can relax now.
That's Coach P's president. He says CP3 for president. Dallas, as we start to talk about the recap of a couple of games, where would you like to start?
Anthony Davis went down. I was talking about my day yesterday, how things went for me. So I like the Suns from the jump. My friend called me, actually. He asked me, he said, man, who you like? Who you like? You think the Lakers get it done? He's like, man, I think the Lakers get it done. I'm like, man, I wouldn't bet on them people because this is what it come down to. Then he was like, yeah, you think LeBron get 30? LeBron get 10 assists? LeBron get a triple-double? I'm like, Phoenix got somebody on that side that ain't scared of LeBron that can match him size for size, pound for pound, and he's not scared of LeBron. He'll go in a room with LeBron, and if he say whoever come out the room, only one of y'all come out this room, and he'll go in that room with LeBron. It ain't too many people that's gonna do that. Jay Crowder is not scared of LeBron James. He blocked his shot time after time yesterday. Jay Crowder started the game 3 for 3 from 3. He had 15 points. He got me paid. I took Jay Crowder to get 6 rebounds in Phoenix to win. I think $500. It made me like $3,800. That was the biggest key. And then Devin Booker came out scorching. He got me paid as well. Devin Booker made me $8,000 scoring 25 points. I had Devin to score 25, and he had that shit in the first quarter, I think. Man, I loved Phoenix. But the biggest thing about yesterday, as soon as Mr. Davis went down, I told everybody in my in the chat, in the Legal Licks group, put all your money on Phoenix. And everybody did it, so everybody made a lot of money. So that was my biggest thing about yesterday. And, the King, he didn't even look like he wanted to play. He looked like a queen, crybaby. He's crying about every call. It was just like, for real, man. Like, for real, bro. Kobe would never. That's all I kept seeing on the internet. Kobe or Michael Jordan would never. How's he to go? LeBron isn't the same guy. The Suns are the better team. Suns proved it. They dissected them from the jump. Anthony Davis was out there first. They said he had to come out the game because when he tried to move lateral and stay in front of people, it messes up his grind. He didn't re-aggravate it, but him trying to stay in front of Chris Paul and Devin Booker when they do the pick and they switch Anthony Davis on him, they dissected dude. It was no way he could stay in front of neither one of them cats. And that's what happened. I mean, I think we got some clips of like LeBron like bitching around and shit like that. So I mean, I love to see LeBron bitch a little bit. I think we got the Kuzma clip as well, right?
You on mute.
I said, yeah, we have a couple of clips of all that we can pull up. But it's kind of sad to watch. Let's look at one of them.
Let me do a little sticking up for LeBron and what he's done in his career and what he's doing at this age. You know, let's not act like LeBron wasn't the best player on the floor for the Lakers team. Can I say that? He was the best player on the floor for the Lakers team, and still by standards of LeBron, he was subpar. And they made a run, a significant run that, you know, and I knew it was coming. I'm like, this is LeBron. LeBron he's gonna calculate it. He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna make his run. They made a run, but in that run, I know what that feels like. LeBron is pushing. He's looking for some guys to kind of, man, play their part. And guys are just, man, I'm gonna take it from, I might have been Timothy, somebody, man, Ralph. I don't know who said it. They said they was ass. They was ass. They was looking horrible. And it's hard to sustain your energy. I'm not making any excuse, but I've been frustrated before. You running with some guys, you like, man, what the hell are y'all doing, man? Y'all make me not even want to play. I went to my guys do a hoop session, guys I played with in high school. You know, it looked like the public league all-stars. The only thing is, can't nobody hoop no more because we can't get up and down the court. Guys is fouling. Then they asked me to get out there. I'm like, man, I ain't getting out there. Man, that's how people get hurt. Because guess what? It was a foul on every other possession, right? And LeBron has been able to sustain his body, sustain his superior play for a number of years. So I want to give him credit. And then we can dissect his game. Because I see a lot of people tearing him down. And I'm like, yeah, you know, but LeBron does too much for me to disrespect him as a person. Now, his game, yeah, we can critique it. That's what we're supposed to do. But as a person, yeah, you sold out on your team, you know what I'm saying? But you also, you know, you do a lot in the community, and everybody expects you to be perfect. And I don't. I see flaws as the imperfection as a perfection, right? So I'm gonna say he's an imperfect person, right? He gonna walk away because he's upset. He's used to a high level of play from teammates. He didn't have his big dog running with him, and man, that shit is it's frustrating. It's frustrating for me to watch, and I'm not even a Lakers fan, right? But yeah, LeBron sold his team out, you know, walking away. You know, sometimes you got to suck it up, be like, man, hey, it is what it is, you know. But he cares a lot. He does care a lot. But now we get on. Go ahead.
We have that Kuzma clip you were talking about earlier, Dallas. You still wanted to see it.
Yeah, you can show it.
Oh my goodness.
Cool. Off the backboard killer shots. LeBron just say, sub me. And this when they made a run. LeBron said he quit. He quit with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in a 12-point game.
Yeah, that's the key possession too. You can get it to 10.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you can get it to 10. You can try to get it under because at that point you're chipping away. So you cannot afford to have horrible possessions. You can have a possession where you don't come up with a shot, but having a bad possession, it deflates your energy. You like, man, I work hard. We got us this far. We on the we making a push, right? But I like what Ralph said, and I felt this way from the beginning. The Lakers limped into the playoffs. You can't do that. And to your point, Ralph, every team that was in the play-in game, guess where every team that was in that play-in game, guess where they at? They at the crib. You know why they at the crib? Because they lost to better teams. You can't come in as a 7 or 8 seed and think you're just going to win because you've already proven that you're not at that level. You're a 7 seed, you're an 8 seed, you playing a 1 or a 2 seed. The Lakers they were a legit 7 seed going up against a legit 2 seed. And then Vegas had the nerve. They had the nerve to have them as favorites. Now, granted, it's an asterisk by it. I'm going to use that balance. It's asterisk because Anthony Davis got hurt. But even with Anthony Davis, I think the Suns got a game or two with a healthy Anthony Davis. Am I right? he didn't get hurt to the previous game. It was an even series with a healthy Anthony Davis. So that lets you know that, I think Phoenix was significantly they're a good team and they deserve that number 2 seed. And they were the number 1 seed for a period of time. It just came down to the last week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was gassed. Don't forget, LeBron is hurt. You know what I'm saying? This is not hate, because I'm like that. I'm like, bro, finish out with your team. I tell my players in a minute, man, don't ever walk away from your team. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever walk away from your team. If you do anything, man, hey, man, come get me, bro. I can't go no further. But leaving the bench and all of that, I tell cats, man, give me my jersey when you walk off. Right? Don't come back. I don't care who you are. So I get that as a coach.
Okay, perfect. That was a 20-minute recap, guys. So let's move on to the next one. There's a game tonight. Big game. This is game 6. It's the Clippers versus the Mavs. What do you think about tonight's game? Yeah. Okay. What do you think about game 6 of tonight's game? Most of the wins have been road wins. So is that any indicator as to who you guys think is going to win tonight? Dallas, you can start.
It's the indicator who I think gonna win. I got the Clippers. I think the Clippers are the better team. They're the veteran team. The Mavericks might have not the best player on the floor, but the most lethal player on the floor. The player that's most willing to put on the Superman cape. They have that player. So that's what the Mavericks do have the advantage at. If Kawhi feel like putting on his Superman cape tonight, the Mavericks can't beat them. But Kawhi want to be Robin and let Paul George be Superman, or let anybody else on the team be Superman besides the person that's supposed to be Superman, the Clippers might have a problem. It's the same thing as every other game. Luka got to have 30. Luka got to have 10 assists. Luka got to get close to a triple-double in order for the Mavericks to win. I would say Porzingis got to show up, but I don't think he's I don't know what he is. He scores 8 points and grabs 6 rebounds at 7 feet with nobody taller than 6'11" guarding him. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just weird. But I think the Clippers win. Like, I don't see how the Mavericks are going to beat the Clippers in this game with those veterans. Even with what they were saying in the post game, they were very confident they can win 2 games straight. Rondo was pissed off. Kawhi's pissed off. Kawhi didn't have a good game. Paul George only shot 14 shots. I think just tonight's going to look a lot different. I'm all over the Clippers.
All over the Clippers. Oh, Lord. Wait, we have a question for you, Dallas. Somebody said, who's getting over 40, Luka or Kawhi?
I'm not betting that, but I mean, Luka probably going to get 40 before Kawhi. Luka is the more of the focus of his team. He shoots more shots than Kawhi. Kawhi is going to play the game how it's supposed to be played, and if Paul George is high, Paul George is going to shoot the shots. Like, Luka's not going to defer to Tim Hardaway. No offense to Tim Hardaway or anything like that, but he's the second option. Like, he's not going to defer to Porzingis. Kawhi might defer to Paul George if Paul George get hot. Paul George hit 5 threes in the first half. Kawhi might be like, oh, okay, it's your game. I'll play off ball. Luka is going to touch the ball 99.9% of the time when he's in. And everyone, when they get a rebound or they touch the ball, they're running with their head scrambling, looking to give Luka Doncic the ball. They're running to Luka. So Luka's going to have the ball more.
So I'm happy you mentioned Tim, because we had Tim Hardaway Sr. on our last episode. Someone said that Junior has to have a big game. How do you think he's been performing this series, and what do you see him doing tonight?
He's a cold-blooded killer. I mean, he ain't scared of the moment. He played both sides of the ball. I mean, he's really the reason why the Mavericks won the last game. He made some big shots down the stretch. He made free throws, and he played D. He stole the ball from Paul George in crucial points of the game and played great defense on Paul George because he can match up with him, and he's not scared of the moment. We're going to talk about people being scared of the moment a little bit later, like in the next 5 minutes. But that's the biggest thing about it is confidence. That's why Steph Curry excels. He's overconfident. Trae Young excels because he's overconfident. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not going to be a good basketball player. You won't make it past certain levels of basketball at all if you don't have the confidence.
Okay. Coach P, somebody said the X factor for the Clippers is Rondo. What do you think?
I've been saying that. I think he's been an X factor. So that's just that's been evident since he's been kind of inserted as a major a player. I don't know if he starts, but if Rondo's been getting significant minutes. I'm going to agree with Dallas, and I'm going to disagree. I agree with Dallas. The Clippers are the better team, right? I think they match up, pound for pound, top to bottom. The Clippers have a better defensive presence. I think they have decent coaching. I think they have excellent personnel. But I'm going to disagree with Dallas because I'm scared to ride with them because they have been inconsistent. And the reason they've been inconsistent is pretty much what he said. Who's their closer, right? So Dallas talked about, if you look in the playoffs, every team, you know who their closer is, right? Utah, Donovan's going to close, right? Atlanta, you know who's going to close. I mean, shit. Brooklyn, they got 3 closers, right? So you can pick one, right? So every team, has a closer. From the Suns, we know his book, all right, and we know who the Mavericks closer is. When I watched the game, I watched a little bit of the end of it, and I'm like, where they going with the ball? What in the club? I played with a McDonald's All-American, right? And every game was a big game because we had a big name player. In every game, I was on the bench. I played behind him. I was a point guard. He's a point guard. He McDonald's All-American. I'm not going to throw names out, but I watched him the whole season. And every time he touched the ball, I was like, oh, we good. And I didn't play a lick, right? Because I'm behind somebody who is, this is grammar school, right? And every time he got the ball, we were solid. When he didn't have the ball, man, we were not solid, right? So he was like the point guard. He was a power forward. He was a center. He was dunking in 7th grade. I'm talking about grammar school basketball. Right? My mom came home. She went to the game. My father, she was explaining. She's like, man, this little boy, he just climbed up there and he just threw that ball in. My father like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, he dunked that. My brother and they like, man, ain't nobody dunking in 7th grade. So I know how you feel when you have a significant player on your team. Everything is going to go how that player goes. Who is that player for the Clippers? I think it should be Paul George. He has the ability to get to the rack. I think he has the ability to knock down an open shot. I've seen him do it in Indiana. And then I haven't seen him since then. Since he started moving around, he's been wanting to play second fiddle. I think it's time for Paul George to step up and say, hey, I'll play second fiddle to the 4th quarter. And I want him to get that monkey off his back. He hasn't done it. And if we roll this clip, you'll see Paul George has the ball. There's a young man. He got a steal. He couldn't get that ball out of his hand fast. He's running away from the play. And what does Paul George do? He gives the ball back to the young man that doesn't want it. When I play with this guy, every time I got a rebound or a steal, I could hear him clapping. Hey, right here. Hey, let's go. He would clap because he wanted the ball. And he didn't get that ball up to us a whole lot. Right? He gave that ball to the basket. And then we got back on D. And, once I got my chance to play, I inputted a lot of what I was watching into my game. I don't know who their closer is. Is it Kawhi? Kawhi looks like some days that he's not interested in playing. Right? So I think right now it has to be Paul George. So somebody said that Rondo is he's the X factor because I think Rondo is the person that can be like, okay, I tried Kawhi last game. You see how that man looked at Kawhi? Like, bro, what is you doing? Like a 3-second step. But I think if he gives it to Paul George has I think a little bit more in an arsenal in terms of creating space, creating separation, and getting a shot. And I think he's seen these moments many times before, and I think it's his time. I want the Clippers to win, but I will not ride with the Clippers on this one. Yeah, I think they got that close over there in Neo from the Matrix. You see that he wants it, right? He throws tantrums, right, when he can't get his way because in his mind it's supposed to go his way, right? He's the one. He's ordained for this, and everybody on his team knows it. Everybody on the other team knows it. The coaching staff on both sides know it. The fans know it, and the commentators know it. Now, if you ask who about the Clippers, everybody be like, oh, it could be Kawhi, could be Paul George. I don't know. We yet to see. So I think it has to be defined. I think Paul George has a little bit more juice in his game to be able to get an open shot on anybody. Kawhi dips his shoulder. I love Kawhi. I've been a Kawhi fan for a minute. Yeah, so here's that clip. If you watch this, Dallas, who's that kid that got the steal?
Terrence Mann gets the steal.
I'm gonna let you go.
Big time. He a big time defensive player.
Watch how quickly he get that ball up.
He ain't one.
Watch it. Hey, take that from me. Let me run away from the play. Oh, I don't want that shot.
I don't want the layup. I don't want to win.
Shot.
I don't want to be the one who missed the shot for the game, and I'm on TV like, oh, I missed the shot. Hey, I'm an athletic guard, and I could dunk the ball.
Can we run it
Luka Doncic is down there backpedaling. I don't want to dunk it on him, though. I want to
pause it.
Miss it.
Can you pause it when Paul George comes across? Because I'm gonna show y'all what Luka would have done, right? With the timeout. Can you pause it? Here we go. Bam, right there. Now you're supposed to be like, oh, look at the clock, 17 seconds, right? Shot clock is off. All we need is a bucket or a foul, right? They're not in a good defensive position, but if we get a ball, if we take the shot too early, then what? We get them a chance to go back, Let me just, make this one shot, right? Remember when Jordan got it, right? It was the same amount of time. What Jordan do? They did it. They talked about it in The Last Dance. Scottie Pippen said, man, I was trying to get the hell out the way. Dennis Rodman said he didn't even go down the court. He stayed on the offense. He stayed and watched Jordan make the last shot, right? And this is what I feel like. If this was Luka, there's no way. I don't care if that man was wide open. There's no way he would have made that pass. Good pass, great fundamental play, right? But that's not a play that a star makes.
With the series tattoo too.
No. Star comes down and say, hold on, wait a minute. Who I got on me? Who's 42?
I don't know. I feel like that's like the LeBron Kobe argument. You know how like lower in earlier in LeBron's career.
So watch the defense. Watch the defense. He got 42 on him. I forget the name.
Keebler.
You got Keebler on you. Oh, no pick and roll. Everybody don't need no screen. Flat. Everybody go flat. I got Keebler on me. Everybody go flat. Give me two shooters, and you got time to space people where you want them to. I don't get that from Paul George, right?
Yeah, my thing is this though. It's a thin line of like, do you make the correct basketball play? If you have a fast break and the man in front of you and there's nobody at the rim, you pass the ball, or do you make the selfish play knowing that you the big time player and this shot is my shot? I'm ready for this moment. Because remember I said we was gonna talk about somebody not being ready for the moment. Terrence Mann was not ready for that moment. He ain't want that. He didn't want that weight on his shoulders. If that's somebody else on that team, if he's not he dunks the ball.
Okay, watch this. He dunks the ball. How much time left? 8 seconds. What Dallas gonna do? They're gonna call a timeout. Right? They down one, and what they gonna do? They're gonna put the ball in Luka's hands. Huh?
They're gonna get a shot, but I don't think Dallas scores on that last possession though, because the Clippers will be able to prepare. And they'll be able to have the right people out there so that if Luka try to do half in a row, they just gonna switch. They're gonna switch, and the offense gonna be off Luka, or they're gonna blitz Luka. They're gonna blitz. They're gonna have a while on him. They're gonna blitz him, and somebody else gonna take that shot.
So let me ask you this again, one more time, right? We don't know if they're gonna be able to score. But all I'm asking is, what is Dallas going to do? What are the Mavericks going to do? They're going to put the ball in Luka's hands with 8 seconds, and the coach is not. He might call. Shot clock is off. Game clock, is running. We don't even have to call the play. I'm going to let my star make a play. And whatever play he makes, I'm willing to live with that. Just like Aaron Rodgers, right? They're supposed to let Aaron Rodgers go and make a play. Because guess what? Bruce Arians let Tom Brady go and win the game. Go win the game, big fella. It's on you. And as a coach, you got to give your main player, that confidence. Go win the game for me, big fella. It's on you. You brought us here. You deserve this moment. And what I'm saying is that they don't have anybody right now that's willing to step up and take that role. Every team has somebody like that. They want the moment. Every team and I think if the Clippers don't have that person, I think that's where they lose. So, that's my 2 cents.
Right. So we had a comment from someone who said they agreed. They said that definitely was a chance for a layup. But then somebody else said not everyone is built for those big type of moments. That's what separates you from being great or just good. They said I would 100% rather someone else take that shot than Luka. Make someone else besides Luka beat you. That is a good point. And then they said the Mavs only scored 6 shots by Luka, assists by Luka. The Clippers can't play worse defense than last game. Legal Licks, we had a question for you earlier. Do you think the game is going to go over 210.5?
This series is really interesting as far as the over-under, because you would think it's a high-scoring series because of the teams, but the coaches' adjustments kind of fluctuate the number. I wouldn't touch this. I would touch the Clippers team total over. The Clippers going to score. The Clippers scoring tonight. I don't know if Dallas going to score too. They probably do, but the Clippers are going to go over that team total. Paul George will take 25 shots tonight. He shot 14 shots the other night. And Kawhi Leonard is going to play better tonight in a game where he can go home again. So I know the Clippers will score over their point total. The Mavericks, if they make threes, they will. If the Mavericks don't make threes tonight, they're going to get blew out. So it's just literally as simple as that.
All right. And then do you have any special requests, they said, that you're betting on today? You got some sauce you ready to give out?
I don't know what they mean by special requests, but I mean that I don't know what that means. I have no clue what that means. So
I think that means it's time for the free pick of the show. You ready to give it out?
Hey, I want to, before you get your free pick, because I know we're getting ready to close, I owe you all an apology. You know, I now see it. You know, Curry for MVP. Seth Curry. Seth. I said I'm gonna get on it every day. I'm gonna throw one at you. I'm gonna throw a dart. Seth Curry went for 30. We just gonna gloss and glide over that. Okay. In a closeout game. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get a chance to mention him. So I gotta give Seth Curry MVP of that particular game. Seth Curry.
You can't be the MVP if you're not even the best player on your team.
You can't be the MVP if you're not winning. If your team is not in the playoffs. So I agree. You're not the best player, but he was the best player that night because Embiid was out, right? Simmons played a great game. He played a solid game. But that night, that game ball belonged to Seth Curry, right? He got him there. And they needed it. And that's what I meant by everybody. You know, we play baseball, we had a game ball for the guy that showed up. And he gets the game ball from me. Yeah, Seth Curry, MVP. Curry for MVP. Seth. Just that night, though. Just that night.
Dallas, are you ready to give your free pick?
Yeah.
Okay, who you got?
The LA Clippers. The Clippers gonna win tonight. The reason being is Kawhi Leonard's not going home. I got 10 reasons, so I'm gonna give them all to you. Okay. Kawhi Leonard had a terrible game last game. He's upset with himself. He's going to put the team on his shoulders. I feel like he's going to be the key to tonight. He doesn't want to go home again. That's not going to happen. Paul George shot 14 shots. He's going to shoot 25 shots tonight, at least, bare minimum. The Clippers have 2 closeout players. The Mavericks have 1. Porzingis doesn't show up. I'm done trying to figure out about him trying to show up. Also, on top of that, Rondo is going to command the game tonight, for sure. He was pissed off at Kawhi Leonard on that last shot. He felt like Kawhi should have jumped into the man, Finney Smith, when he on the last play, or should have actually ran the correct play. And also, how many times in history have no games went to Game 7 in the first round of the playoffs? I don't think it's happened very much. So this is the one that's going to go 7 games. No other series is 7 games this series. That plays in our favor as well. I'm on the Clippers tonight. Clippers are the better team. Clippers have overconfidence, even in the post game, that they can win 2 games straight. I think they win the series, honestly. Taking the Clippers tonight. They're going to make the adjustments. And the fact that the Mavericks are just a 3-point shooting, jump shooting team, like, that doesn't win you games. If they miss shots, they're going to lose. Simple as that. They have to be over exceptional from 3. Luka has to hit like 4 to 6 3-point shots, and the supporting cast also has to make shots as well for the Mavericks to beat them tonight. But just so I can make sure that nobody loses their money, because what I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do as well. I'm putting $5,000 on the Clippers tonight, and then I'm gonna proceed to put like $1,000, maybe $750 on Luka Doncic to score 30 and the Mavericks to win, and then I'm gonna pick a couple more player props for the Mavericks, player performance doubles. I'm not gonna get them to you on here, but that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna make sure I cover my ass, but I'm all in on the Clippers. push all my chips in. Clippers.
Little safety net.
Clippers.
Yeah, I hope they win.
Little safety net.
Yeah, you got to have that safety net when you got an elite player like Luka Doncic. I just want to say one thing to cap off Luka. I mean, dude's a winner. He's been winning his whole life. He lives for the big moment. European League won at 18 years old. He's a winner. So I don't put it past Luka being ready for a winning moment, but I just think that the Clippers are just more talented. So that's what it's going to come down to. And the fact that they lost that last game and they know they should have won the game will play a big factor.
And then I know you just gave out your free pick, but someone wants to know, do you have any baseball picks of the day? Oh, he's left. So I guess not.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have to sign up for one of his packages to get the baseball picks. Let's see. They said, do you think today will be a defensive game on both ends?
Definitely from the Clippers. If they're not focusing on defense, they're not looking to win. They definitely have to lock in on defense. Particularly I would try to get the ball out of Luka's hands as much as possible because anybody else making a decision other than maybe like a Jalen Brunson is questionable. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be defensive end. For Dallas, I'm not quite so sure. I think they focus on those two guys, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and, they live with what everybody else is going to do. So I think their defensive game plan is to negate what those two guys like to do on the offensive end. But I'm with Dallas. I think Clippers are far, they're the better team. They just haven't shown it. So I wanted to go game 7. That's a game that I would love to watch from beginning to end. So I'm just hard on them right now because I think they are not living up to the expectations that I had for them and that most people have for them in terms of being a championship caliber team. Moving on to the next round, I would not favor them over the Utah Jazz. Either team actually.
Oh, so this is just fun knowing that they're about to get knocked out.
I started off saying I don't. I'm really not sure who wins. I don't really think either of these teams are going to get past Utah. So I think this is this is just playing for bragging rights.
Who do you think is going to get the most steals today?
It's a good question.
Someone said Rondo.
I don't know if Rondo plays the minutes. I think Tim Hardaway is probably someone mentioned he has to have a big game. For him is being the second hand, but also being a primary defender. So I think if anybody's going to have steals, I would say Hardaway Jr.
Okay. Let's see, they said got to sign up if you want the rest of the player performance doubles. For sure, Dallas already gave out some of his picks for the day earlier to his Legal Licks group, and then he came on here and he gave away that free pick too. Earlier, let's see if I can find it. Someone said, here we go. It was their first day with the premium pack. He cashed out on a tennis bet, and that Dallas is the truth.
Yeah, he's that dude. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I do the basketball, but this man, he covers all sectors. Yep, all sectors. Tennis. He's a sports enthusiast.
Okay, well, this was Legal Licks Lounge. We are 11-2. Hopefully, going into tomorrow, we can be 12-2, but we shall see. Coach P, thank you for joining me. Dallas, wherever you are, thank you for joining me as well. And I will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye.